Hi, I'm Anna Zobel, and I'm a Diamond Beachbody coach. And I'm here on the Oregon coast, and the holidays are coming up. And so I'm making videos about how to lose weight during the holidays. So this video, I'm going to share a secret about willpower. I know a lot of people when they've been, trying to lose weight, dieting, that kind of thing, they always say, oh, you've got to have a lot of willpower. You've got to rely on your willpower. You've got to practice your willpower so that it gets stronger, all those kinds of things. But I am here to tell you that willpower, not only does it not work, but you should not try to rely on it. So I hope that's good news for some of you. So I have always given this advice before, but now just in the last few weeks I found out that there's actually studies behind it, and so I'm kind of excited about that. So anyway, my advice for the holidays, you know, has to do with going to parties. When you go to parties and gatherings and you know that there's going to be a whole bunch of sweets there or else a whole bunch of unhealthy food, whatever it is that you thought you had to use your willpower to not eat, my advice is that instead of trying to resist it and trying to deprive yourself of that thing that you wanted, that you allow yourself to have a little piece of it. And my thinking behind it was that, I mean, just because I've seen myself do it, where you get there and for me it's like chocolate. So it's, if it's the chocolate cake or whatever chocolate it is. So let's say the chocolate cake is sitting in the middle of this whole spread of stuff. Well, if I tell myself that I can't eat that chocolate cake, then I end up eating like everything around it that I didn't even like that stuff, but I'll eat all that other stuff just because of my craving of that chocolate cake. And so it's kind of ridiculous because, it's like if I just would have allowed myself to eat like a little bit of it, then I might not have eaten all of that other stuff and wasted all those calories. So that was my advice all the time, was to tell people, listen, just allow yourself a little piece of it. And what I add in there is like, I know that once I start eating chocolate cake, that a lot of times I keep eating it. And so, sometimes I'll like tell myself I can have that chocolate cake. I just need to wait till close to the end of the party. And that way you have less time to keep eating it, So I do use a little bit of willpower there, where I just kind of say, okay, I'm going to put it off as long as I can. I'm not going to eat this other stuff. I'm going to eat the chocolate cake, but I'm going to wait. And again, you can apply these things to when there's treats in the break room at work also. So, just a few weeks ago, I was listening to the audiobook called The Happiness Advantage, and I encourage you guys to listen to that. Anyway, he's this guy from Harvard who went to Harvard and also taught at Harvard, and he found all of these studies about willpower and why it doesn't work. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't know there were studies behind what I was saying. But the studies found that basically the conclusion was that kind of people must have like a certain amount of willpower for a day. And the studies showed that when they had a group of people resist trying to do something, use their willpower, and even if the things were completely unrelated, so let's say at work you have to resist, not saying mean things to people, or, whatever it is, if you have to use your willpower during the day, then during these studies, they would have people do completely unrelated things. Like they said, you need to write about the day of an overweight person without using any stereotypes. So the people had to use their kind of resistance to think, really think about what to say. And then they had to do something else, like not think about this, or, something completely unrelated, or maybe not eat a plate of cookies. They said in all of the different studies, whether, whatever it was that they were trying to resist, they did worse on the second thing. Across the board, all of the people did worse of resisting to do the second thing than they did on the first thing. So, if it's during the holidays and you've got all that candy at work and you've resisted all day not to eat that candy, not to eat that chocolate at work, and then you get to this party, then your willpower is kind of already taken up. And so I would say don't count on yourself to use that willpower. So other strategies, of course, are things like, avoidance. That's what I say for break room things too. There's avoidance, there's distraction, there's, um, time delay, like I said. And then of course, so the real solution, of course, is to make it so it's not as much of a temptation for you rather than just trying to suppress the temptation. So things like, and what he says in the book is when it comes to like eating healthy, he says to basically, instead of having a diet where you're just restricting yourself of everything good, you you eat healthy all the time, and but allow yourself those indulgences every once in a while, which is kind of, which I was glad to hear, because that's what I've done. I tried to improve my diet kind of slowly over time. I tried to add more vegetables in, add more fruits in, and so that I did have less cravings of the junk food. And but I lost, over 40 pounds and over 40 inches while still eating chocolate every day. It was just a matter of trying to figure out ways to limit the portion sizes of it. So again, when you're at those parties, another tip I have is that, find a plastic knife or fork or whatever and cut off a piece of that thing that you want rather than taking the whole thing. Or if you have to take the whole thing, try to get someone to share it with you. um, so I hope that those tips help, and definitely make sure that you click on the link below for me to be your free Team Beachbody coach. And also message me on Facebook, because next week we're doing a live presentation with a lot more tips about how to lose weight during the holidays and how we can help you with the fitness, the nutrition, and the support that you're going to need to get all the way through the holidays, so that you can make it clear to January. And guess what? Maybe your New Year's resolution doesn't have to be lose 10 pounds that you gained over the holidays. So I'm excited for that. So make sure that you message me. Make sure you click sign up for me to be your free Team Beachbody coach, because that's how I'm going to tell people about it, is through my email that way. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you later.